Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 63 of Blown Speakers, and we're welcoming back. Well, I'm Dave Hoenigman coming in from Yokohama, Japan, and I am welcoming back Lisa B coming in from Cleveland.
That's right.
How are you, Lisa?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. You know. Same old.
Same old stuff happening.
Are you buried in snow?
We're like having a thaw right now. I guess tomorrow it's supposed to like be in the 50s, whereas today I think was still hanging on to the 30s. But I survived 2 snowstorms and shoveling my driveway for 2.5 hours each time.
Whoa. But I'm sure that won't be the last of the snow.
Right? No way. Not this year. No. We thought we were doing well because in December there was no snow. We're like, it's gonna be great.
That means it'll snow in May, great. Probably.
Yeah. It's just in time for my birthday, possibly. Yuck.
So you've chosen to go on a nostalgic journey again, right?
Yes.
This time more dance oriented.
Yes, to show that I don't just listen to heavy metal. I've got more in my bag of tricks for sure.
So this is Deee-Lite, Deee-Lite's 1990 debut album World Clique. And yeah, why did you choose this album?
So this album was on like repeat during this time, and it's always something that if I put it on, like it's one if I put it on, I still know all the words. Like I can't remember what I ate for dinner last night, but if I put on this album, I'm crooning away with her like I'm doing a concert. So, and I can remember my friend Jennifer and I would sit on her bed, and we had the cassette at that time, the lyrics are all inside, and we would just sit and just sing this for hours. So I thought maybe let's share it with everyone else and see if they have the love for it that I do.
Do you remember the first time you heard them? Was it on MTV or the radio or what?
I'm sure it was on MTV. I mean, because I still was watching it constantly in 90. So I believe it's probably then, but I saw them on there. And they definitely were in heavy rotation. At least Groove is in the Heart was, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that song was inescapable that year.
Inescapable, yes.
So what was it about this album that especially attracted you?
Well, the first thing is Lady Miss Kier herself, because I feel like I was trying to do like a revival thing as well. Like I know that after I saw her like wearing all her like 60s and 70s looks, I definitely for the next probably 5 years wore nothing but disco dresses out. Like I went out of my way to find retro clothes. And I know that I wore like my mom, I don't know why my mom had like a go-go like this it had like fall leaves on it, like it was orange, and then but it was like a go-go dress. It was so cute. I wore the heck out of that thing. Yes.
And
so I loved her. I love their whole aesthetic where they just were all playful, and of course I like to dance, so it's a good dance record.
And she was a go-go dancer, right? Now that you mentioned,
yeah,
go-go dancer.
Like, because they definitely came up in that like club kid era of New York. So it's like people were going out of their way to be super creative. So she definitely fit right in there.
And I get the feeling from what I read, she had a lot to do with that aesthetic you're talking about. Like she designed the outfits and the artwork.
Yeah.
At least
I believe she did. She had her hands in a little bit of everything. And I think she had a vision and she was able to execute it and execute it well.
And as we said, she was born in Youngstown, Ohio. So
Another Youngstown.
Kind of our area, give or take.
Kind of, yeah. I'll claim it.
Yeah.
She's one of ours.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, it sounded like she moved around a lot though. Like she born in Youngstown and then partially grew up in the Pittsburgh area, Virginia Beach and DC. But yeah, Youngstown.
She was probably there for like a week, and we're like, "Yep, she's ours.
Yeah.
She's a Midwest gal. Love it." But yeah, no, I loved her aesthetic, like the flipped hair, like just the wild patterns. I was all about it.
Yeah, there's no shortage of great photos of her online.
Yes.
Well, might as well show a few now. I mean, the album cover, right?
Yes.
Pretty dynamic.
Yes.
And yeah, this is the back cover of the album, right? And we'll talk about members.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just look at how cute they are. It's just so funny.
Yeah, I mean, she just kind of became an instant fashion icon, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Those platform shoes. I could never pull those off.
As you said, this is one of her iconic outfits, right?
Yes, that is the one that she wore in the Grooves in the Heart video. And that is the one where I definitely fell in love with her. It's like, oh my God, I just love her. I want to be her. What do I need to do? But I don't know if I ever got there, but I sure fought hard for it.
Yeah, so shortly after that album was released, she was already on the cover of Vogue in Italy. So yeah, I think a lot of people were noticing her fashion chops.
Definitely. She had her own style.
Well, let's see. Okay, so the other members, I mean, it's an interesting collection of people, right? So you had right, she's American, grown up in the Midwest, more or less.
Yeah.
Moves to New York when she was young. Well, she was 17. She went to the Fashion Institute of Technology, but almost immediately dropped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, was working as a go-go dancer. I think selling her own designs or something, because they mention that when she met DJ Dimitri, right? She meets DJ Dimitri in 82. Because she sold him silver platform boots and a glitter blue space suit for his band Shazork. He was in a band called Shazork.
Well, that's fantastic. Shazork.
And they hit it off and they became a couple, right? Well, the one interview I watched, they were a couple.
Okay.
And he's from Ukraine. Or
He's Ukrainian.
Ukraine, as we called it back then. But yeah, so I mean, cool, like, you know, international couple. And then along comes DJ Toa Toa, right? So he's from Yokohama, Japan, right? My neck of the woods. He's actually Korean, right? So his family's Korean, but he was born and grew up in Japan.
I see. Okay.
What I understand. And, he lives in Japan now. He lives in Nagano. So yeah, cool. You know, quite a diverse collection of people.
Yes, definitely. But I think it probably added to why this album's so great. Like they each brought what they could do, you know, to it, and just came up with this unique sound. Because no one sounds like them. I don't think so.
So it seemed like kind of she was the concept person, right? And he was the musician. I mean, just very vaguely. And then he was like the kind of genius, you know, like sample record collector guy who would, you know, knew like the cool samples and stuff to put in there.
Right. And the I don't know, I get the feeling that he had the techno part of it, like the dance the dance part of it came from him.
Mm-hmm. So I think these two, just as a duo, they were doing stuff for a few years so Toa also went to New York to study. I think it was, I want to say, graphic design or something. Like he went there to study.
Okay.
He just ended up going. I think he might have also dropped out of school. I think
That's so funny.
Yeah, he just saw their shows a couple times and sent them a tape or something, and yeah,
there you go.
the rest is history.
Yep, and the magic happens.
I was just watching, there's some old clips just from the streets of New York from like 88, where I think it was just these two. They're just goofing around on the streets and kind of making guerrilla recordings.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, this one old guy says to her, "You can't dance. I'm a disco instructor. I'll show you how to dance." And the old guy starts dancing. And then there's footage of her just dancing with a bunch of kids and everything. But you can tell it's just totally stuff they're filming on the streets.
Right. Oh, that's so funny. I love the guy's going to teach them disco. You crazy kids. Funny.
So probably you would have seen the Grooves in the Heart video, bought the cassette, and what do you think when you first heard the cassette?
Oh, well, I loved it from the very beginning. Like, I don't know, it probably is maybe one of those rare albums that, like, when I played it, I don't skip over anything. Like, I'm all in from start to finish. And I can appreciate everything on it.
Did you listen to a lot of dance music at that time?
Oh, yes. I don't know. Who am I kidding? I watched all the dance, like the teen dance shows that were on, or like whatever, kids in their 20s. Like that was all dance music. Oh, another big, I know who it is. It's Technotronic was the other one that I just loved them. But they were in heavy rotation on Club MTV. That was probably my gateway into all of that stuff.
Club MT, wasn't there also one like called The Factory or something like that?
So there was Teen USA, like Dance Party, that was on USA. There was Club MTV. I think American Bandstand was still on, and then Soul Train was still on.
Okay.
I don't remember The Factory.
I don't know where. I thought there was something on MTV that was called something like that, like The Shop or something like that. But
with more dancing on it?
Yeah. I don't know. I always remember that guy Eric, right? That yeah. And I thought he had a show called something like that. But maybe it's just Club.
Oh, did he have? He might have, but I can't remember now. I don't know if he had. It does sound familiar, but I feel like that might have been more of a hip hop thing than just like a straight dance tracks.
I'm
not sure. I have to look it up, but yeah, Club MTV. That was my jam. Yes.
So basically they had tremendous success right off the bat, right? So it's their first album, first single, and it was a huge international hit, right? Like top five hit in the US and the UK. It was a big deal here, right? Because Toa was from Japan. So right out of the gate, they were kind of very high profile. Right.
Yes. Definitely. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere and not hear that song.
But it was interesting. I mean, we're going to talk about that. Bootsy Collins played on the album, right? The famous bassist, right, from James Brown and P-Funk Parliament.
Yep.
And also from Ohio, right, from Cincinnati.
I'm like, did I know that? I should know that, but I don't know if I did. Because Get all these Midwest people.
But I think she also hooked that up. Like she reached out to Bootsy Collins. Right.
Okay.
And I mean, yeah, and he got Maceo Parker and Fred Wesley, right? So other guys with that background, right? The James Brown, Parliament, Funkadelic.
Mm-hmm.
He got,
because he would have known Maceo from James Brown for
yeah.
sure. Maceo Parker is that's a whole nother thing. I love that guy.
So
He's got great albums. Even just the solo stuff. I know him from when I nannied in Chicago. The family, they had like really eclectic tastes.
mhm.
But Maceo Parker was one, and we would me and the little girl, we danced to that one quite a bit. That was in heavy rotation. So it was sort of fun researching this and seeing that he was actually on it. I'm like, that's so super cool to me.
Mm. Do you remember which Maceo Parker albums you danced to?
Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it. I'd have to look it up. I know there's a song on it called "The Elephant Stepped on My Foot," which that should tell you everything about it. Like just a quintessential funk song where the like phrase is "elephant stepped on my foot." Like whatever's happening, the elephant ends up stomping on him. Like that's hilarious to me. Good stuff. But he's a hell of a horn player, that's for sure.
But I think it's cool that she was the one who thought, all right, we need Bootsy Collins on board, and reached out to him, and he joined. Like, you know, she was functioning on a lot of levels, you know.
Definitely. Well, and then Q-Tip is on Groove is in the Heart as well from Tribe Called Quest. Although I just figure they just knew each other anyway. That's not a hard thing to imagine, like being in New York during that time, that they would know each other.
Is Tribe Called Quest a New York based band? Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I love the Q-Tip.
That does make sense. Okay. What do you think? Shall we play part of a track? Or...
Sure.
Okay. What do you think if you had to choose just one as a little taste for people?
Well, why don't we do one? How about Good Beat?
Good Beat.
Yes.
All right. Just a moment.
Sure.
Okay. Well, just to give our viewers a little taste, this is track 2, Good Beat. Let's check it out.
Let's go.
Depending on how you see it, you cage your mind, or you free it. Depending on how
Hmm.
There we go.
Good
Does it
beat.
make you want to get up and dance?
Sure. It's kind of early in the morning for me, but yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're not ready to go out clubbing in the morning?
Yeah. But given the right set of circumstances. Uh, hmm. So was it a big album in your high school? Or a lot of people playing it?
Look at me. I'm like, I never paid attention to what other people were doing.
Hmm.
It was big with me and with my friends, like with my core friends.
Mhm.
It was a big thing. I'm sure that other people had to have seen Groove is in the Heart, but
Yeah.
I don't know. There are a bunch of like, oh, we're gonna go see like who's the Margaritaville guy? And I'm like, you shut up.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you don't like that music. Get it together.
Yeah. That was like every summer, a lot of people would go see Jimmy Buffett, right? At the
Oh yeah, they go
Yeah.
see Jimmy Buffett and I don't know. But I just tried to do anything that wasn't that.
Wow. Your high school was that square?
No, all those girls were like 16 and puking in the cars. They'd get
Mm.
wasted. I don't even know if they ever even made it into a concert.
Hmm.
But I was not doing that. I was very like straight edge in high school.
Hmm.
So I'm like, I just want to see music. I don't need to be wasted like that. I was judgy. Let's be honest.
You were judging.
I was judgy.
This album, I think, came out in August of 1990. So that's exactly when I started university. Do you think they would, because they are, I mean, some people will write them off as a one-hit wonder, right? Just because, right? Groove
Well,
is-
yeah.
was so
Yeah.
huge, right? And yeah, they never had a hit that big again, right?
No, they never did.
But then, I watched some of their later videos preparing for this, like that
Mhm.
that one about like summertime in the park or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I was kind of like, why wasn't this a hit? Like, why wasn't this an MTV sensation? But I wonder if they suffered because of the arrival of grunge. Do you think that's possible?
Oh, God. Grunge might have killed just about everything.
Hmm.
It probably killed what was considered mainstream, since MTV still ruled the roost. Like whatever they were playing, it's like it did sort of control how people like listened to music or like found music.
Mm-hmm.
But like I never stopped hearing Groove is in the Heart, but it's probably because I was at gay bars. In the gay scene, she's still an icon. Definitely. Like people still love her. And so it's like, even though I was growing older, I still heard her music. At least Groove is in the Heart. I definitely heard that out at clubs. But yeah, grunge killed everything, killed my hair metal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't necessarily thinking of them as a one-hit wonder until I was preparing for this, and then their name often comes up.
Yeah.
Referred to as a one-hit wonder.
I guess in the grand scheme of Billboard, absolutely they're a one-hit wonder. And I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm one of these rare people that listened to this whole album and just loved it.
Well, but they did have dance hits. So that's like what I'm kind of curious about. Like,
yeah.
So I guess Power of Love, Good Beat, which we just heard, and ESP maybe to some degree were like dance. They were on the dance charts, right?
Okay.
But what does the dance charts actually mean? Because I don't think that okay, if the dance charts were important,
okay.
I think the record company would have been more behind them. Like I feel like
not back then.
record companies don't really appreciate hits on the dance charts, is what it seems like.
I don't think they did back then.
Hmm.
Yeah, I still feel like dance music was still pretty indie as well. Like, I guess, they had a Hot 100, but those songs I don't think were necessarily crossing over into the main pop charts. So I think that back then it was just all pop charts. Like, if it wasn't on the pop chart Billboard, like, I don't know if they got as much money per se, or if the record company would get behind them or whatnot. I was floored that they were signed for a 7-record deal.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And
like,
that's crazy.
That was probably her again pulling some magic somehow. How do you get so a 7-record deal at Elektra, right?
Yeah, that's nuts.
And they only ended up making three
Right.
albums. So
right. And I think the record companies sort of just backed off of them anyway. Like they were moving on to whatever the next big thing was.
Yeah. So it could have been that, like they were, the record company was thinking, and Deee-Lite was positioned to be like a dominant band of the 80s.
Yes. Yeah.
And then, or a dominant act, I guess. But then the grunge, the grunge storm came along.
Freaking grunge storm, man. It wiped out everyone's goodness. Because like it's so weird to think that like on the Billboard became rock music after that.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So, and then like, you couldn't turn on a radio without hearing rock music during that time. It's funny. It all comes in waves. That's for sure.
Yeah, and just some people are lucky and their timing is right, and other people aren't. But
they also might have just tried to make them recreate World Clique, because that happens a lot also. It's like, oh, once you have a hot album, they just want you to recreate it. Like, they don't want you to try new music or try to change it up. They're like, no, just give us the same stuff. So that could have been it, that they just didn't want to do the same old thing.
And from what I read, so the next 2 albums are actually pretty political. She gets, right, Lady Kier gets increasingly political, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of interesting. But you said Brian, who we've had on the show in the past, you said he's a big fan of Dewdrops in the Garden.
Yes. So he said that's his favorite one. Like, his favorite Deee-Lite is the Dewdrops in the Garden. Because he said it shows off more of her like musical chops. Like, it's got it's not just all like World Clique is pretty much, it's a straightforward dance. It's like a dance funk kind of album. Whereas by the time it gets to Dewdrops, there's like a little bit of like country influence in there. Yeah, there's a lot more going on. Not all about like the dance and the character of Lady Miss Kier. I think it's more of her just being herself.
Think how drastically the landscape had changed from 90 to 94, right? But there's no way Deee-Lite are going to make a grunge album. So
no, not at all. Not at all. But I think even by then, they weren't making club hits either. Like, their clubbing days were probably not as high either.
So their music's often referred to as house, right?
Oh, is it?
Do you agree? I've seen that on
between
Wikipedia and whatnot. So what's your understanding of what constitutes house?
Oh God, what would constitute house music? I guess I don't know. I guess maybe it has like more of an upbeat because it's not rave, it's different than rave music. Rave music is that high beats per minute. So this is more danceable. I imagine that like La Bouche, Technotronic, anything that Martha Washington did, those all I think are probably more house music, where it's music with words to it, but it's still danceable.
Like, yeah, for Deee-Lite, it seems like they're one of those bands when they say genre, they'll just throw a bunch of
Everything.
Okay, yeah.
You're like
House,
rock,
techno,
funk,
hip hop,
blah blah blah, whatever, all of it mixed together.
psychedelic.
Yes, definitely. Oh yeah, no, they have, I just see it's like electronica, dance pop, house, hip hop. So
Dance pop.
dance pop, yeah.
But well, what was going on like in the UK at this time with rock was more like a mixture of dance music, like Stone Roses and Primal Scream to some degree.
Yeah.
And, you remember that band, The Farm? They had that song Groovy Train.
No, but now I'm gonna have to go listen to it.
Like Happy Mondays and things like that. Like the kind of UK indie stuff that, you know, eventually became Britpop, or some of them became Britpop, is like way more dancey than what was going on in America for you know, our alternative rock or indie rock or whatever.
Right.
So like in America they were totally split, but like in England they were kind of
they were embracing the danciness of it all. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, one interesting thing, right, about Groove is in the Heart, it's, I mean, just an interesting collection of different influences. And yeah, I mean, getting Bootsy and Maceo and Fred involved, but and also Cute, like just getting a cool collection of people together, and also pulling in some really killer samples, which I thought we could look at very quickly. Herbie Hancock's Bring Down the Birds. Just a moment. Okay, if you check out this Herbie Hancock track from Blow Up, the Blow Up soundtrack, I think you can hear a bit of Deee-Lite in this. Can you hear it?
Definitely. That first like just part of it. It's just, yeah.
And so as they mentioned that DJ Toa Toa was like this master record collector. So like, I wonder if that's where specifically where he comes in with making those kinds of decisions.
I'm sure of it. Yeah, definitely.
Doesn't it also remind you of Bust a Move? Wasn't there like a riff like that in Bust a Move?
By Young MC?
Yeah.
I might have been
a
little breakdown moment, or you know, they're doing the, what do they call it? It's not, I forgot what it's called now. The break beat that they use for like hip hop music. Darn it, man. Is it called the breakdown? No, I don't know. I can't think of it right now. Someone comment below.
Yeah, that riff makes me think of that.
Yeah.
Also, and then, okay, let me grab another one. Okay, so Vernon Birch. So you have feelings about Vernon, huh?
I do now. I'm going out. I'm gonna go definitely find him on Pandora or Amazon Music.
Those look like pink leather pants.
I believe they are with a sweatshirt that's bright yellow. He sort of looks like Big Bird, and I'm feeling it.
Hmm. So they lifted the drum beat from here, apparently. Let's see. Wow. So he was definitely going for it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. Why wasn't that part of our like this? Why wasn't that one of the songs we listened to before we went out? Remember, we used to get pumped up by songs in Chicago.
Sure. Sure.
Otis Redding,
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder.
Hmm.
What was Just My Baby's Daddy? That's just my baby's daddy.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, those were our like pump up. We should have had Vernon Birch Get Up.
Wait, Just My Baby's Daddy. Who was that?
That's just my baby's daddy. T-Bird, that's just my baby's daddy. It was this ridiculous. Now that was a one-hit wonder.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was by, but I had the like CD single and we would play it. That was part of our repertoire. Yes.
Seems like a good way to start the night.
Definitely. Oh man.
And yeah, I like the cover of the single or Groove is in the Heart. Looks great.
And it's got all the right like throwback to it. Like it definitely looks like a 70s cover or a 60s cover, really.
And yeah, as you said, it was very much about happiness, right? There was
yes. Yes.
Mm.
Clearly they were doing retro, but they were doing retro their own way, which I definitely appreciate it.
The video, which I think people should watch, of Groove is in the Heart. Yeah, Bootsy Collins is actually in the video.
Yes.
And he guest vocals, right?
Yeah,
I think he does a bit of bass, but I mean, I think isn't it mostly vocal, his appearance, I think?
I think I might be both.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Why would you invite him and not have him play the bass?
I mean, you have to.
But he has a bass in his hand right there. So
yeah.
But I was surprised, like even on his Wikipedia, it's just like one more sentence down where it mentions that he was in Deee-Lite's Groove is in the Heart. Like it's pretty high up on his resume.
Yeah, I mean, like as soon as I saw him, I knew exactly who he was. Like, oh my gosh, they know Bootsy. Like they're legit. They know Bootsy and they know Q-Tip. So they were on the pulse of something good.
Look at how metal Bootsy's outfit is.
He does. He could be in Kiss right now. Like all he needs is a makeup. But he's always like that. Even if you go on his Facebook, that's how he looks. Never let it go.
The trademark glasses, of course.
The glasses, the crazy hats. Like, I think that Mark Maron interviewed him, and he's like, he was wearing the getup. He was like, he was wearing it. He's just bootsy. Like, the character never leaves. They've become one and the same. Yeah. So funny. That's so cool.
Yeah. I'm really curious as to how she recruited him, like if she wrote him a letter, it'd be interesting to see the letter.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, was he clubbing? Did the record label reach out to him? Yeah, like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
She was just a powerful force. She made things happen.
She might have. She probably did.
Okay. So I think this was a couple of years ago when they released anniversary edition, possibly the 30. Oh, okay. Looks like it's 2018 or yeah, but okay. Anyways, it's a cool like colored vinyl edition of the album. Or of the single, I should say.
We're going to dance. We're going to dance. We're going to dance and have some fun.
Dig.
When we're done, satisfaction of what's to come. I couldn't ask for another. No, I couldn't ask for another.
That's right.
Your groove, I do deeply dig. No walls, only the bridge. My supper dish, my crocketesh wish.
Sing it, baby.
I couldn't ask for another. No, I couldn't ask for another.
Watch out.
The depth of who groove moves us to the end who will go through.
So does that take you back to 1990?
It sure does. Definitely. Takes me back to having that cassette, having it all folded out, and then just singing along with us. I love it. It does. Just brings nothing but good memories.
I think it was called Grooves instead of Groove is in the Heart. I think it was called, I thought it was called Grooves in the Heart. Like with it. Like
That's awesome.
Multiple grooves.
I got grooves in my heart.
Hmm.
I mean, I think it can mean whatever you want it to.
Hmm.
If it's grooves in your heart, it's all good.
So Toa, has continued to, he no longer goes by the name DJ Toa. He goes by Toa Tay. And
Okay.
he's been rather consistently releasing music like all this time, like a lot of solo stuff. And collaborating with members of YMO, Japanese kind of pioneering Japanese electronic band that he was really into, right? So he got to collaborate with his heroes and everything. And
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
Nice.
he left. I think it's interesting that he wasn't so into touring and performing, right? Like he was kind of pulling back from Deee-Lite. Like he just kind of likes to be like in his room or in his studio, just like playing around.
He's like, I don't need to see the people. People don't need to see me.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like he's like behind the curtain in in Oz, you
Mm.
know. Like no one needs to know. They just need to hear. So that's good.
Let me do this. Boop. So this was, I think, BuzzFeed, right? So BuzzFeed refers to them as a legendary one-hit wonder, right?
Mm-hmm.
You take exception to this.
I would a little bit, but I don't know. It was like, I mean, I can see where they got that from, but they clearly weren't out in clubs dancing.
Mm. Mm-hmm. And
But
yeah, and in other places, people are like fondly looking back on the album, right?
gosh,
Like
30 years.
this site.
That's
Album.
incredible.
Mm. Yeah, time goes fast. They seem
Yeah.
they seemed ahead of their time, and now it's already 30 years ago.
Right?
Yeah.
Like what happened? That's nuts.
Well, they were like retro and ahead of their time. They had a cool like.
They were doing a little bit of everything.
Mm.
That's funny. Gosh, 30 years. 30 years and I still know all the words to it. It's
Mm.
pretty good.
She wrote all the lyrics, right? From what I understand, right?
I believe so.
Mm. But I wonder what he did. Like he doesn't even have DJ Dimitri. There's not even like a Wikipedia page for him, like explaining what he's been up to.
They're like, dude, you're out. That's it. We're done.
Mm.
I don't know. I never heard anything else about him. Like I knew she was around. I knew my one friend who was a DJ in gay bars. He had met Lady Miss Kier, like when she started DJing. I feel like she was supposed to come for something. I don't know. I'm like, why does my video look like this? What am I doing wrong?
Oh, I can see you fine.
Okay, good. Then it's just on my end.
Okay, so we were talking about Lady Kier, Miss Lady Kier. I like that she has two titles, right? Miss Lady.
Lady Miss Kier.
Lady
She's
Miss
everything.
Kier. Okay, did I say
Yes.
it backwards?
Yep.
Lady Miss Kier.
Yes.
Hmm.
You gotta give her props when you talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now you were talking about how she influenced your fashion at the time.
She definitely did. And my mom had this one dress that is sort of like a go-go dress. And somehow, apparently, I still have it. So let's see if I can
Yes, let me.
get a shot of it.
Beautiful.
That's, it's got the buttons. It's
Wow.
very short.
Nice.
So I don't know. I used to wear that. And I think I had a little pair of like go-go boots to go with that. So that is authentic. Like that is actually from the 60s. My mom used to wear that dress.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was one of my favorites.
Man, that's cool.
I wore that dress. This is hilarious. To the opening night of the Doors movie.
Oh.
Because I dressed up because I loved it so much. So ridiculous.
Hmm.
But no, the dress is awesome.
Yeah.
Also, lots of good memories, but she definitely inspired me. Like, oh, I'm wearing that dress. I'm doing it, and I'm gonna feel confident in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I proceeded to just buy disco dresses from all the thrift stores.
Yeah, I could see the
You
connection.
probably saw me in them.
Yeah. Wait, so I met you in about 96 or so, I think, right?
Was it that late?
Yeah, because I
Oh,
met you.
yeah.
I met you
Yeah.
after I graduated from university.
Yes.
I was living in Cleveland Heights. It was either 95 or 96.
Yeah, I was around then.
Hmm.
Yep, I spent a lot of time at the Brillo pad. And then the gay bars. Yep. That would have been around the same time.
So that was the go-go dress period.
That was my go-go dress. Yep. Definitely. I really just loved everything about Lady Miss Kier. Like, I hold a special part of my heart for her. Definitely.
I could see that. I felt that way just researching her this week. Like, yeah, I mean, she's cool. She's
cool. She's special. Like, she fights for the causes that she believes in, and she's not quiet about it. So definitely admire those kind of things in her.
Okay, so we were thinking to go out on What is Love, right?
Yes. Yes.
And, yeah. Why? What is love?
Well, we talked about how at the beginning of the Deee-Lite Grooves in the Heart video, she's walking around saying these things, and it's not, when you listen to the album, it's not like that. Well, those like little bits and pieces are from this song. So I thought that's a nice way to go out.
And I thought, like, just a little pet theory I had, right? Because she was dating a guy from Ukraine, and he wouldn't have been a native English speaker, that maybe he often said that for, like, how do you say blah, blah, blah in English? How do you say? And maybe she just kind of picked that up, and why she was doing it here.
Yeah.
Who knows?
She ran with her.
Oh, and of course, Toa was not a native English speaker either, so she might have been referencing him. Yeah.
She's surrounded by people who don't understand her.
Yeah.
Funny.
But yeah, and she is a native English speaker, born in Youngstown, but she's the one saying, here, how do you say?
How do you say all these things?
Okay. All right, Lisa. Well, great selection. Thank you for joining us again in that trip down memory lane.
Yes. Thanks for having me again, and wrapping up another album. It's good stuff.
Okay. Thanks, viewers. Everyone, have a great night.
How do you say delicious, de-lovely, delectable, divine? How do you say de-gorgeous, de-with it, de-groovy, de-fine? Ooh la 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 la. Só você que é só muito bacana, faz jogo de mim, só você me tem bota, how do you say delicious? How do you say de-lovely? How do you say delectable, divine? How do you say de-groovy, de-with it? How do you say delight?
trying to find out, is there really such a thing? Right.
When I was a student,